In these daily habits, we will focus on just one thing at a time, starting with sleep. Doesn't sound very exciting, however, it is the foundation of your entire day and of your entire month of Ramadan. Now, don't get me wrong, sleep will definitely be less in the month of Ramadan, and it should be, because for those who sleep in excess during the month of Ramadan, you are literally missing out on the most benefits that you will gain in the entire year. You're missing out on the best personal growth, and you're missing out on the highest return on your investment. It's essentially like sleeping during peak work hours when you're expecting a promotion. That sounds pretty stupid, doesn't it? I agree. It does. So don't do it. Rather, limit yourself to a certain amount of sleep every day, or occasionally take a nap in the middle of the day, then that is better for you. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would sleep very, very little. And today, in this day and age, the scholars also have trained themselves to sleep very little. Now, do not misunderstand. I am not telling you to be a walking zombie who is exhausted. This can lead to accidents at work or even in your car with your family. Do not be falling asleep during the day. If you find yourself in such a dangerous situation, simply pull over and take a 7 to 8 minute nap in your car. Set your alarm. You'll find yourself recharged. If you have to, take a 15-minute nap, but don't go over that, or else you will wake up more tired than when you started. Sleep early, brothers and sisters, except on the nights where you have Taraweeh. And on those nights where you are going to pray Taraweeh, make sure that you have napped either before or after Zuhr. And if you are going to take a brief nap after Asr, make sure it's only 15 minutes long. When you pray Taraweeh and Qiyamul Layl, do make sure that you are not interfering with your Fajr. If you know that you staying out late will prevent you from praying Fajr in the morning, know that the wajib always comes first. It is the most important, and leaving it off can take you out of Islam. There are brothers who will pray their Taraweeh every night and then they're never seen for Fajr, they're late for Zuhr, maybe they miss Asr. This is incredibly dangerous, brothers and sisters, and know that not every prayer is equal. Be very, very careful about missing any of the obligatory prayers, and understand that the wajib is always the most important. Another thing that we need to remember, brothers and sisters, which we mentioned in our earlier video, is that you should not simply shift your time by 24 hours and live the same life. You should be living a very different life in Ramadan. This is your boot camp. This is your madrasa. This is your opportunity to get that raise, to increase in your rank, to increase to a higher level of taqwa. You should be daily inserting yourself into the Quran with tadabbur. You should be replacing eating and prep times with study times. You should try to be clever about cooking the night before, or prepping early so that you can have easy to eat meals that do not take a lot of effort, so that you are not amongst those people who are crazily scrambling to every restaurant looking for someone to provide you with food and getting yourself into arguments and difficulties with other Muslims that will subtract from your reward. Prepare easy morning meals. I'll share a recipe with you that I particularly love and is excellent both for suhoor and iftar. Take 10 smaller dates, dried dates, or 5 or 6 larger ones. Boil them with about 200 milliliters of water. You don't have to boil them, you can just take the boiled water out of the kettle and pour it on top of them. Add about 3 scoops of powdered milk, or a sachet of some kind of your favorite powdered milk substitute, and then mix it with just a little bit of salt and some real butter, perhaps a teaspoon of real butter on top, and mix it together. This is a recipe for date milk, and it is something that is incredibly nourishing, and it is a combination of all the things that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself used to have: milk, dates, butter, and of course every human needs salt and water. And so all of these together are incredibly satiating and are a great way to boost your energy and to also rehydrate after a hard day. And that brings me to the next point, brothers and sisters. Do not gorge yourself in the morning. Do not eat to excessive amounts at night either. This is a time of weakening your physical body and increasing your spiritual strength and closeness to Allah. So do not go to excess. And when you do break your fast, make sure that you do a slow reintroduction of fluids. This is a matter of kidney health. Rather than immediately chugging down 1 liter of water, which will shock your system and actually harm your kidneys, rather have about 300 milliliters at most within the first half hour to 1 hour after you break your fast. Don't worry, it seems like very little, but you still have plenty of time in order to rehydrate yourself, as much as 2 or 3 hours before you go to sleep. Avoid carb-heavy meals and stick to mostly proteins and fats at night so that you can get a good night's rest. Also, you should try to do your workout around Asr time. Why is this? Well, many people are not adjusted to fasting, and so for the first entire week of Ramadan, they're going to be mostly sleeping and feeling miserable. But for those people who followed my advice and who prepared in advance, these people will be ready, and these people will be able to exercise. But there's almost nothing worse than exercising early in the day, being dizzy, feeling nauseous, having a headache, and having the worst kind of pain. Why? Because you lowered your glucose level after exercise and you have no food in order to increase it, and your body is not adjusted to burning fat. And so what happens? You put yourself in a very bad situation, which is a little bit dangerous for your body, where you may even be tempted to break your fast. Astaghfirullah. If this comes down to it, brothers and sisters, and your health is in danger, then by all means, break your fast and make up for it later. Do not put yourself in danger and do not harm yourself. But it is better to avoid this situation entirely. And how do you avoid it? Be smart about your exercise. Have your meal, or whatever it is that you have for iftar, ready. Have your rehydration solution ready with a little bit of salt, a little bit of potassium, perhaps a bottle of coconut water with a little bit of salt added and some honey. These are effective rehydration solutions, as well as the date milk that I mentioned earlier, as long as it's sufficiently hydrating. Have these ready so that when you break your fast and after your workout, you are not absolutely dizzy and trying to find your way through your kitchen and trying to make something for yourself when you're literally shaking. Also, brothers and sisters, when you exercise, start small. Start with just a few minor exercises. Start with stretches to get your energy up. Start with minor movements. Start with jumping jacks, maybe some jump rope if you have it available, push-ups, walking the stairs. Now, brothers and sisters, we move on from micro workouts, working out a little at first and then getting stronger and stronger along the way, into a popular supplement that many people use during Ramadan that I would like to warn you and teach you about, and that is creatine monohydrate. Now, it is well known, and there's a tremendous amount of literature around this particular supplement on its incredible effects. It's not just for retaining and growing muscle, which is proven to help in both cases actually. It's for athletic performance, cognitive performance. It's been found to help retain muscle mass in aging seniors when taken daily, and to prevent muscle wasting and muscle loss. It's been linked to positive outcomes in people with TBI and PTSD and even ADHD. As you can see, there's a tremendous number of benefits from taking creatine monohydrate. And so many people logically decide that they're going to take it during the month of Ramadan. Something that I should let you know, brothers and sisters, that is not immediately available online, even with all of the research that I did. I had to compile several different research papers and look at several different expert testimonies in order to understand that creatine is actually a double-edged sword. And what do I mean by that? Well, it means it bites both ways. It can help you to do what you want to do, especially when you're properly hydrated. It will make the day easier for you. It will make you stronger and more focused. However, for those people who sweat easily, for those people who are in tropical environments, it can be extremely dangerous, especially if you dehydrate easily. So, for that reason, people who are regularly taking creatine might want to either reduce their intake or consider stopping entirely during the month of Ramadan. If you do take it, taking as little as 2 to 5 grams can be safe, especially if you have not already preloaded, because this will not oversaturate your muscles, and rather you will just have a boost to do what you need during the day, and then it can level off without saturating and changing your hydration status or giving you digestive problems, which you especially don't need during the month of Ramadan. Furthermore, brothers and sisters, make a plan for your Quran reading. Make a plan so that every single day you are consistently reading the same amount that you set out to read, and do not do any less. It is very easy to get behind, so you need to start strong, fresh out of the gate. And how do you do that if you don't have an exact plan? If you don't have a daily register and log of what it is you intend to do and how you intend to do it? Make sure that you're doing these before and after Ramadan, not just during. And that brings me to my next point. Start thinking of how you will maintain these changes in yourself after Ramadan, brothers and sisters, because the goal is to continue. The goal is to keep these changes that you have placed in yourself, these hard-earned changes that you are going to want to be a permanent part of your character. Your deen and your progress in the deen should consistently be going up. Your taqwa of Allah should increase and not reduce itself again. Your istighfar, your worship, all of these things should increase. After you've focused on these main things, we can add a few little things on the periphery that may make life a little bit easier for you. No coffee or black tea at night. This is incredibly important, brothers and sisters, and there's a reason why. If and when you drink that caffeine, it takes from 4 to 6 hours to exit your bloodstream. And so if you're drinking that right after Maghrib, how many hours do you think it will be until you fall asleep? Likely less than 4 to 6. But even for those who manage to sleep after drinking caffeine, what you will find is that you wake up miserable because you actually haven't had any proper sleep. Coffee will prevent you from achieving your deepest levels of sleep, and so though superficially you have slept and your body has slept, your mind is exhausted. Next, develop a cooling strategy for yourself. This is especially important in very hot areas. Try to always find shade. Try to find a way to bring shade with you. Try to wear cool clothes that are modest and cover you, but are also not suffocating. Try to dress in layers appropriately, not layering too much, and trying your best to maintain your hydration status. And so in this way, you can preserve essentially a lot of your hydration status for later on in the day so that you have enough energy to actually focus and study and work out. Now, these are some of the most practical daily tips that you can use in your Ramadan time. If you want this message to reach more Muslims, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Write "We are brave" to let me know that you made it to the end. May Allah reward you for your efforts. Until next time, stay brave and steadfast. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.